There is money that belongs to you that you are not collecting. Not money that requires risk. Not money that requires expertise or a brokerage account or a financial advisor or a minimum investment of any meaningful size. Money that is sitting available to you right now, today, through accounts that are FDIC insured and accessible from your phone in about 7 minutes. And you're not collecting it. The average traditional savings account in America pays 0.41% annually, which means if you have $10,000 sitting in your bank's standard savings account, the one they gave you when you opened your checking account, the one that came default, the one you've never thought to question, you are earning $41 per year on that money. $41 on $10,000 for a year. Meanwhile, high-yield savings accounts at online institutions are currently paying between 4.5% and 5%. On that same $10,000, that's $450 to $500 per year. The difference between what you're earning and what you could be earning on the same money, with the same zero risk, is $409 to $459 per year. My name is Astrid, and today I want to talk about why most people are leaving that money on the table, not because they're irresponsible, not because they don't care, but because nobody explained the system clearly enough for them to know they had a better option. Subscribe if you want the kind of financial clarity that costs you nothing except about 12 minutes of attention right now. Let's start with why the gap exists, because it's not obvious and the reason matters. When you open a bank account at a traditional brick-and-mortar bank, Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, your regional bank, your credit union, that bank's savings account interest rate is set based on what the bank needs to attract deposits. And here's the thing about large traditional banks. They have massive existing deposit bases, hundreds of millions of customers, and enormous brand recognition. They don't need to offer competitive interest rates to keep your money because you're already there. The account was set up automatically. The friction of moving is high, and most customers never think to compare. So they offer 0.41%. And 0.41% is what most people earn. Not because that's the right rate, because that's what you get when you don't ask for anything different. Online banks operate differently. They have no branches, no tellers, no physical locations to staff, heat, cool, and maintain. Their cost structure is dramatically lower, which means they can afford to offer dramatically higher interest rates to attract deposits. And because they don't have the built-in customer base of a Chase or Bank of America, they have to compete on rate. The competition is you. And right now, that competition is paying 4.5% to 5%. This is not a trick. There is no catch in the traditional sense. High-yield savings accounts at online institutions are FDIC insured up to $250,000 per account per institution, the same insurance that covers your brick-and-mortar bank account. The money is just as safe. It's just significantly better compensated. The only meaningful differences are that you access these accounts online rather than in a branch, and transfers between your high-yield account and your regular checking account typically take 1 to 2 business days. For money you're not touching daily, your emergency fund, your short-term savings goals, any cash you're holding for a future expense, these differences are irrelevant. The money sits there. It earns more. You check the balance when you want to. That's it. Now here's the part of this conversation that most people miss, and it's the part that makes acting on this genuinely urgent in 2026 specifically. The interest rates that high-yield savings accounts are paying right now are not permanent. They're a function of the Federal Reserve's interest rate policy. When the Fed raises rates, which it did aggressively between 2022 and 2024, savings rates at online institutions rise with them. When the Fed cuts rates, which it did 3 times in 2025 and is expected to continue doing in 2026, those savings rates come down. The 4.5% to 5% that's available right now is based on every reasonable projection of Fed policy in 2026, near the top of what this cycle is going to offer. Fannie Mae projects that 30-year mortgage rates will fall below 6% by the end of 2026, which means the underlying interest rate environment is moving lower. NerdWallet's Sam Taub put it plainly, if the Fed lowers rates further from here, they will offer lower fixed yields, so it might make sense to open up a CD or fixed yield savings instrument sooner rather than later. This is not fear-mongering. This is the basic mechanics of how interest rates work. The window for earning 4.5% to 5% on completely safe cash is open right now. It will not be open indefinitely. And when it closes, it doesn't close dramatically, it closes gradually, percentage point by percentage point, quarter by quarter, until the rate on your high-yield savings account is 2.5% and then 1.8%, and then you've missed the best period this type of account has offered in 20 years. The people who opened high-yield savings accounts in 2022 when rates started rising captured years of above-average returns on their emergency funds and short-term savings. The people who are opening them now in 2026 are still catching meaningful returns, but the clock is running. And the people who wait until next year to think about this will open accounts when the competitive rates have already moved lower. Let me show you what the numbers actually look like across different savings amounts, because I want this to be concrete rather than abstract. If you have $5,000 in a traditional savings account at 0.41%, you're earning $20.50 per year. At 4.75% in a high-yield account, you earn $237.50. The difference, $217 per year. If you have $10,000, the difference is $434 per year. If you have $20,000, which is roughly 3 to 6 months of expenses for many households, a reasonable emergency fund target, the difference is $868 per year. Nearly $900. For doing nothing except putting the money in a different account. If you have $50,000 in cash, maybe you're saving for a house down payment, maybe you've been accumulating savings over several years. The difference between 0.41% and 4.75% is $2,170 per year. In your pocket. From no additional risk. From no additional work. From one afternoon of account setup. These numbers compound. Because the interest you earn in a high-yield account is also earning interest. At 4.75%, your $10,000 becomes $10,475 after year one. Then $10,498 in interest on that new balance in year two. The compounding is modest on shorter timescales, but it's real, and it stacks on top of whatever you're adding to the account each month. Now add the context of 2026 specifically. Inflation is still running above the Fed's target. The purchasing power of your cash is eroding slightly every year. At 0.41%, your money is losing real value. Inflation is outpacing your earnings by a significant margin. At 4.5% to 5%, you're actually keeping pace with or slightly outpacing current inflation, meaning your cash is holding its real value rather than quietly shrinking. This is the difference between a savings account that protects your money and one that allows it to slowly be worth less. Let's talk about what to actually look for when choosing a high-yield savings account, because not every account that advertises a high rate is equally worth using. The first thing to check is the APY, annual percentage yield, and whether it's a promotional rate or a standard ongoing rate. Some accounts advertise rates like 5.5% or 6% that apply only for the first 3 months as an introductory offer, then drop to something much lower. You want the ongoing standard rate, not the promotional bait. Always check the fine print for how long the advertised rate applies. The second thing to check is minimum balance requirements. Some high-yield accounts require you to maintain a minimum balance, often $500, sometimes $1,000, to earn the advertised rate. Others have no minimum at all. If you're building an emergency fund from scratch, an account with no minimum is more useful in the early stages. The third thing to check is transfer times. Most high-yield savings accounts at online institutions take 1 to 2 business days to transfer funds to or from an external checking account. A small number can do same-day transfers. If you have an emergency and need access to your money quickly, same-day transfer capability is worth prioritizing. Most people find 1 to 2 days acceptable for emergency funds. A true emergency rarely requires cash in the next 2 hours, but this is a real consideration. The fourth thing to check is FDIC insurance. Every legitimate high-yield savings account in the U.S. should be FDIC insured up to $250,000 per depositor per institution. This is non-negotiable. If you're looking at an account that isn't FDIC insured, it is not a savings account in the traditional sense. It's something else, likely carrying more risk than it presents. Currently, the institutions consistently ranking at the top of high-yield savings rates include Marcus by Goldman Sachs, Ally Bank, SoFi, Discover Bank, American Express National Bank, and a handful of others. Rates change frequently, so the specific ranking shifts week to week, but these institutions have consistently competed at the top of the rate environment. A quick search of Best High-Yield Savings Account 2026 on any reputable financial comparison site, NerdWallet, Bankrate, CNBC Select, will give you a current ranked list with rates updated in real time. Now, let's address the two things that stop most people from actually doing this, because I've talked to enough people about money to know what the real barriers are. The first barrier is inertia. Your current savings account works. It's connected to your checking. You know where it is. Moving money feels complicated. And for most people, the gap between knowing something is better and actually doing it is filled by the comfortable familiarity of what already exists. Here's the honest response to that. Setting up a high-yield savings account takes about 7 minutes if you have your social security number and a routing and account number for your existing checking account. Most applications are entirely online. There's no branch visit, no appointment, no waiting. The actual action is trivially easy. The barrier is not the process. It's the moment of deciding to start. The second barrier is a misunderstanding about risk. People who have never used an online bank sometimes assume that an institution with no physical locations is somehow less safe or less legitimate than a traditional bank. This is not true. The FDIC insures depositors, not institutions. Whether your bank is Chase or Marcus or Ally, the $250,000 FDIC insurance works exactly the same way. The legitimacy of an institution is verifiable on the FDIC website in about 30 seconds. The risk of a high-yield savings account at a reputable FDIC-insured institution is functionally identical to the risk of a savings account at your regular bank. The only thing that's different is the return. There's one more thing I want to address before we close, and it's about how to think about the money you should put in a high-yield savings account versus money that should be invested. A high-yield savings account is not a substitute for investing. At 4.5% to 5%, it earns more than it has in recent memory. But the historical average return of the S&P 500 over long periods is approximately 10% annually. Over a 30-year period, the compounding difference between 5% and 10% on the same money is not twice as much. It's more than 6 times as much. The power of long-term equity investing remains dramatically superior to any savings account for money you won't need for 5 or more years. The high-yield savings account is for specific categories of money. Your emergency fund, 3 to 6 months of living expenses, belongs in a high-yield savings account. Cash you're saving for a specific purchase within the next 1 to 3 years, a car, a down payment, a planned renovation, belongs in a high-yield savings account. Any cash you're holding as a safety buffer while you figure out your next financial move belongs there. Money you don't need for 5 or more years should be invested, not held in savings no matter how competitive the rate. The enemy of long-term wealth building is not risk, it's the illusion of safety that keeps money in low-returning accounts when it should be compounding in the market. Get the right money into the right account. Your emergency fund and short-term savings, high-yield savings, open this week if you don't already have one. Your long-term savings, invested in a structure appropriate to your timeline and goals. The $409 per year sitting uncollected in your traditional savings account is not a life-changing amount on its own. But it represents something larger. It represents the financial clarity gap, the space between what's available to the people who pay attention and what's collected by the people who don't. That gap exists across dozens of financial decisions. The tax deduction you didn't know you qualified for. The retirement contribution you didn't maximize. The interest rate you didn't bother to compare. Each gap individually is manageable. Together, they compound into a significant difference in financial outcomes between two people who earn the same income and work equally hard. Closing the gap starts with the smallest version of it. 7 minutes. A FDIC insured account. 4.5% instead of 0.4. It's not dramatic. It's just better. And better, practiced consistently, is what actually builds financial security over time. The window for this specific better is open right now. Based on where interest rates are heading, it won't be open like this for much longer. Do it this week, not this year. If someone in your life has money sitting in a traditional savings account earning almost nothing, send this to them. The process takes 7 minutes. The impact runs for as long as the high-rate environment lasts. I'll see you in the next one.